Hey everybody, it's me again, Jennifer, and got a really gentle rain going outside. Downstairs, my son is listening to something very loud. You might hear some pulsations every once in a while. Upstairs, my daughter is sewing face masks and whistling. Earlier, I dug outside and I took my dog on a really, really long walk. And in many ways, this is just an utterly idyllic Sunday. And then you remember what's going on. It's this very odd both and, I think, right now. I feel like we're going someplace darker and someplace lighter all at the same time. And I keep reading things, some of which suggest all of the possibility for change and transition. And then I read other things that suggest all the ways in which this could be taken advantage of for further just shutting down and ratcheting up fear and isolation. So it feels really important to just take very good care of ourselves and to keep caring for what's here while continuing to look out, and caring for what's here and looking out, and just going back and forth, back and forth. And when you've spent too much time in one of those zones, trying to recall the other. A good friend of mine in town who's a music therapist posted something this week about remembering to play music, and it was a really good reminder for me because I'm not a musician and I'm not hugely musical, and so it's a really easy thing for me to forget. And I played some Greg Brown this morning and it just lifted me. So whatever you can do to just kind of remind yourself of that dance of internal, external, internal, external. So we're going to do a fairly gentle chair practice. You need a chair here's my chair, that does not have arms. And you also will at some point need a wall for stability too. And then doing this on a surface that's a little not super slidey. I'm on a rug that has a grip under it. So find that. And I'll move a lot so you can kind of see how I'm seated, but you'll just stay until we move our chairs over toward the wall. You're just going to stay where you are, okay? And let's see if I get a little farther away. You can see me just a bit more. And finally, Hollywood lighting. Oh, it doesn't really matter. Okay. All right, so bring your hands into prayer. And your feet are on the ground. I'm sorry you can't see my feet, but they're both, soles of the feet are on the ground, okay? Inhale up, exhale, come back down. And take that again. And exhale, come back down. And again. And exhale, come back down. And release your hands, and then let's bring your shoulders up. And two more. And again. And then bring your hands onto your knees and open your eyes and your mouth, stick out your tongue. And then squeeze your face, squeeze your eyes, squeeze your mouth. And soften. Just move your jaw around left to right. And then we'll take that again. So open, stick out the tongue. And then squeeze everything close. Tight, tight, tight. And then soft. And just move the jaw around. Maybe just move the eyes a little too. Just kind of a little squinch and soften. Maybe yawn. Again. Great. All right. So go ahead and take hold of the outside of your chair close to the front leg. All right. And then you can let the other arm just hang down by the side. And then you're going to think of sitting up straight and then let the opposite ear fall over toward that shoulder. And so as you do, because you're holding on here, you can kind of weight yourself over toward the left if you're holding on with your right. And just let the breath come into the right side of the neck, making sure that the shoulder is not activated, it's not working at all. Just getting that stretch. And then just tuck the chin toward the collarbone. Nice. Ear comes back toward the shoulder and then just gently come up to seated. Great. Let's just move your shoulders around. Nice. Back to center. Think of growing tall. And then on an exhale, right ear comes down. Left hand grabs that side of the chair and then just let yourself lean. So I'm sitting way on the edge of my chair, by the way. Both soles of the feet are on the ground. And then a little tuck of the chin in toward the collarbone. Turning the ear back toward the shoulder and then gently come on up. And then you're going to take a wider stance with your legs. Bring your hands to your knees and then let yourself round and stretch across the shoulder blades. And then on an inhale, come up. And now let the chest come forward and the shoulder blades come together. Round. So it's a variation of a cat-cow, and that's your exhalation. And then on an inhale, draw the heart forward, look up. Exhale, round. Inhale, come up. Exhale, round. And one more here. Inhale, come on up. Great, and come back to center. And then again, really wide, maybe even taking it a little wider here, coming toward the edge, and then come down onto your forearms, okay? Let your head fall, and then look at me for just a second. You can actually use your thumbs and create a little prop, and the thumbs will come right to the middle of the brow, all right? And they're actually on a pressure point there that is going to help with through relieving some anxiety. Let the head be heavy. And come into an easy breath. If you know Ujjayi, ocean sounding breath, a little bit of a contraction in the back of the throat, and you'll just make a soft sound like a wave. After your next exhalation, raise your head and then bring your hands up onto your thighs. Bring the feet closer together, and let's bring your right ankle onto the lower left thigh toward the knee, okay? And sit up nice and straight. Now, for some of you, you can just come forward a little with this hand on this knee. For others, you can walk your left foot out a little bit farther and then come a little bit farther. So, but just till you're feeling some stretch in this right hip. And depending on your body, you might be able to keep coming forward just a little and keep bringing a little weight with this hand. And my right foot, the foot that's up on top of this knee, is flexed, not pointed, but flexed. Great, and then gently come on up. Take hold of this knee and then just gently make some circles and go the other direction. Great, and then bring that foot back down. Now bring the opposite ankle up. Again, foot is flexed, sitting up tall, and then finding your degree. So this side is tighter for me, so I'm not going to go as deep. And in fact, this is plenty for this side for me. So it just depends on your body. Notice that you're softening through the jaw, especially if you're really tight in the hip. You can start to kind of tense in places that really don't have anything to do with the stretch. And after you're here for a while, you might be able to go just a little deeper. Nice. And then coming back up. And again, you're going to take hold of this knee and just make some circles. And go the opposite direction. I don't remember if we did that on the other side. Sorry. Great. And coming back down. So go ahead and stand up next to your chair. And we're not bringing the chair to the wall yet, but it can be close to the wall. And you're going to bring a foot. Let me see if I can get a little more in here. So we're going to bring our left foot onto the chair. Okay? And from here, we're going to bring our right hand onto the left knee, and then we're going to open our left arm. So we're in a twist. So I'm feeling this in this lower right hip. And take 3 breaths here. See if you can breathe into the navel center. And then slowly come back. Hands come down by the side, fingers are active, and then you're going to reach the arms up overhead. Hands stay parallel like you're holding a ball overhead. 3 breaths. At the end of the next one, let your hands come down onto the back of the chair and then start to straighten this front leg. You can see that this standing knee is soft, and I'm going to look down at my shin. 3 breaths. And after the last one, I'm going to bring the sole of the foot back onto the chair. And I'm going to take that again. So right hand comes across, left arm opens, and 3 breaths. On the exhalation, hand comes back, palms active, reach, hands stay parallel overhead, and lift up out of the waist. As you take 3 breaths, looking up. Exhale the hands down to the back of the chair and then straighten that foot. And 3 breaths as you look down at the shin. Great, and go ahead and just step back and just maybe step up and down a few times. And then we're going to bring the right foot onto the sole of the chair. Look down and just look at that standing left foot, that the toes are pointed toward the chair, that they're not off at an angle, okay? And then bring the left hand over onto the right knee and open the right arm. 3 breaths. Exhale to center. Inhale, reach. Really be active in those arms. And exhale the hands down, straighten the front leg, a little bend in the back knee, and then bowing toward that shin, take 3 breaths. Great, coming back, sole of the foot onto the chair, standing back up, left hand comes over, right hand opens, and again. Really think of the breath being in the navel. And exhale the hands down, inhale, reach. And exhale the hands down. And last one here, straighten the knee. Great, and come back up and bring that foot down. And again, just move back and forth a few times. All right, come down so that the hands are toward the back of your chair. And then come down until the forearms are on the chair. And then just think of letting the head so that the ears are down, snug between those upper arms. And find your sits bones, those pointy bones, bend your knees a little, and then really think of lifting and spreading the sits bones. Active through the arms, so open the fingers wide, press the palms into the chair. Take a few breaths. This is a variation of downward dog. Great, and go ahead and step yourself forward. So for a moment, we're going to use the chair for balance. So turn your chair around and just stand next to it using the back of the chair. And then we're just going to take our foot and come into a fairly classic quad stretch. Think of the knees being together. Think of the belly lifting, the tailbone dropping. And release, and just come over to the other side. Feet start parallel. Take hold of that back foot. Drawing the belly up, the tailbone in. And releasing. Now we're going to bring that chair back. And we're going to come down onto our knees in front of it. You're going to bring your right foot out at a relatively wide angle. So it's not like a traditional kneeling pose right in close, but rather you're a ways out. Trying to get a good angle so you can see. And then you're going to come down onto your forearms. So you'll sometimes do this. I'll show you. This is a variation of this pose, but we're doing it on the chair. So if you're familiar with that. So coming forearms on the back of the chair and then foot out with the toes at a 45-degree angle from the legs of the chair. And then you can let your weight kind of come in and out of this hip. Move it around a little. Great. And bring that knee in and let your hips just fall over to the right. Again, you're on your forearms for stability. So you're getting up into the tissue, running up the side of that hip, and then coming back to center. Rearrange if you need to, and then bring the left foot out. Let yourself move. Any weight, just shifting. If that feels good, if it feels better to just be still, that is fine too. Great. And then bring that knee back down, and now let yourself shift your weight over into the left hip. Maybe shifting the weight and coming back to center. Great. So then bring your chair against that wall and go ahead and stand. And now bring your hands and hold the back of the chair. And you're going to, this time, really keep the hands active and up on the seat. So not as much gripping as before, but on the seat. You can even come up onto your fingertips, so kind of on a tripod. Bend the knees a little bit. Press more into the fingers. Lift through the sits bones. And then on an inhale, look up toward the back of your chair. On an exhale, let the head come back down. On an inhale, look up. On an exhale, come back down. And one more of those. Inhale up and exhale back down. And then keep walking away so that the hands are all the way on the edge of the chair. And really, really reach, getting a lot of length in the back. And slowly walk yourself forward. Great. So you can bring the chair away again. We're just going to take a twist, and then we're going to come down onto the floor. So go ahead and soles of the feet on the floor. Left hand comes across. Right hand comes to the back of the chair. Few breaths here. And exhale, unwind, and then just take the other side. Great, and then coming back to center. All right, so I'm going to bring this chair against the wall again, and now I'm going to come down onto the floor, and I'm going to take a wide straddle near the chair. And then I'm simply going to bring one arm on top of the other and make a platform for my forehead. And if you have like a thin, soft pillow, you could use that instead. And then just, or if you have a cushiony chair, I have a fairly uncomfortable chair. But try to bring, it's kind of nice to get into that same place in the forehead, in the middle of the brow. You can get like a little pressure there on the edge of the chair potentially, or with your hands. And once you arrive, just let your eyes close if that's comfortable and come into some easy breaths. In and out through the nose. Just feel the whole body settling. Notice any sensations. Notice any noises in the room. Really have a sense of the head being heavy and not having to do anything. Giving it permission to just pause or slow way down. The tongue is soft. The jaw is released. The belly is soft. The hands and the feet are soft without effort. Just the breath, rising and falling. So I want to invite you to stay like this as long as you would like, or even potentially transferring from this to feet up the wall. They're both really great for calming the central nervous system. So be well. Take care.